Mr. President.
The senator from Indiana.
Mr. President, I rise to join the senior senator from Indiana in voicing my strong support for the Law Enforcement Mental Health and Wellness Act of 2017. During Police Week, I'd like to take a minute to thank all of our men and women in blue who stand on the front lines to protect our communities. I have 4 young children. Since they could barely talk, my wife and I taught them that if they need help, they should dial 911, and the police would respond. Every day, our law enforcement community around the country lives their lives to answer these calls and to help our fellow citizens. Sometimes the job is as simple as reuniting a child with their parent at the park or at a store, but other times they see horrific scenes that no one should have to experience in their lifetimes or experience traumatic stress in the performance of their jobs. Ultimately, police officers see the best and the worst of humanity, which can take a heavy emotional toll. But who is there to answer the call for help when they need it after experiencing such trauma on a regular basis? Well, a couple of weeks ago, Senator Donnelly and I introduced the Law Enforcement Mental Health and Wellness Act. This legislation is for those who answer that call. This bill works with the relevant federal agencies, mental health providers, and broader law enforcement community to offer opportunities for care. When our police force is healthy, when it's strong, our communities are healthy and strong as well. That's why it's vital we provide our nation's law enforcement with the resources they need as they put their health and their life on the line in order to protect our communities day in and day out. This includes supporting law enforcement agencies' efforts to protect and strengthen the mental health and wellness of their respective law enforcement officers. I'm confident that this bill will have a positive impact on the mental health and wellness of law enforcement officers across the country. And I look forward to the findings of DOJ's collaborative reports, the efficacy of the peer mentoring pilot programs, and the results of the department's study into the creation of a crisis hotline for law enforcement officers. With that said, I want to thank Indiana's senior senator for his hard work in drafting this legislation and allowing for my input and those of my colleagues. It's been my pleasure working with Senator Donnelly on this, and I look forward to continuing our work together on behalf of all Hoosiers in the future. In fact, this legislation drew upon efforts undertaken by Hoosiers at the Indianapolis Metropolitan Police Department. In 2010, Indiana's IMPD recognized the need to address law enforcement mental health and wellness by creating the Office of Professional Development and Police Wellness. IMPD Captain Brian Navanatni led the effort to establish the office and has relentlessly promoted its motto: healthy hire, healthy retire. Wellness is more than just an annual physical. In 2015, the captain in the office received national recognition, being awarded the National Law Enforcement Officers Memorial Fund's Annual Officer Wellness Award. IMPD's innovative and forward-thinking has inspired police departments across the United States to follow their footsteps and undertake similar efforts to address law enforcement, mental health, and wellness. But this is just the beginning of these efforts. Senator Donnelly and I are proud that the Law Enforcement Mental Health and Wellness Act has passed the Senate and is one step closer to being signed into law, contributing to the efforts of the IMPD. As I close, I of course want to recognize the leadership of a fellow Hoosier, U.S. Representative Susan Brooks, and her colleagues in the U.S. House who introduced this legislation. This bill has received bipartisan, bicameral support in Congress, widespread support from several law enforcement organizations, and frankly, support across the country from rank-and-file Americans who understand that this is a problem that we have an obligation to address. We're all with you. Now we call upon all of our colleagues in the House to act on this important legislation and send it to the President's desk for his signature. So let me finish with these words of heartfelt gratitude. Thank you to our law enforcement community for always answering the call. Mr. President, I suggest the absence of a quorum.